The third frame, Mark Williams to break.
Well, Mark Williams was out of the arena for quite some time after that second frame, and not the best break-off shot that he's made. I don't think he was expecting to be 2-0 down, and he's in good form. He's missed very little, but this man doesn't look like missing at the moment. And what an opener. And perfect on the blue, and he's given himself an early chance, especially with the reds as they are.
Fantastic opening pot, and controlled it well enough to be perfectly on the blue. It's going to be awkward though to get that black into play. There is a red directly above it towards the pack. That would be one that would be nice to get out of the way. If you could pot this red, roll through, have an angle on the black to then nudge into that one, he could start proceedings.
14. 15. 22. 23.
'Blue might hamper him slightly here, so he might change your plan, but he is quite a tall lad. He might be able to bridge over this without any trouble at all.
Absolutely fantastic shot there from Ricky Walden. Committed fully to it, stunned the cue ball off the cushion to leave it away from the cushion, and has given himself an angle on the black to go into the reds. Marvellous.
Up to 8.
A chance to win the frame. 3-0 lead with his opponent playing pretty well. What a fantastic start this would be.
$49.
That's okay, even though he's straight on the pink. He's got that red to the left of the bunch.
Yes, the first fractional problem in the break. He's going to leave himself further away than he wanted. Makes this red missable.
45.
But you don't really see him missing at the moment. No, that's a commentator's curse.
There's still a couple of reds that'll go into the same pocket as the black, so he just stuns off the cushion and back out. If he goes a little bit too far, the one near the pack will also go, as you can see from that picture. Come up a little bit short, but
53.
Might come to his advantage here. Now he could pot it without
54.
having to nudge the reds. He'll play for that one I mentioned this time.
Well, this is a brilliant standard. It's as good as anybody's played in this tournament so far, I would suggest. Not seen every frame played, obviously. Just marvellous.
98% in this match. It's great to see him doing this because he's had a lot of his success overseas, and the British public haven't seen this player play the way he can, but this is him in full flow. This is what he does quite a lot of the time, Steve.
As fluent and free a cueist as Ronnie O'Sullivan, he may not look exactly the same to sort of the casual onlooker, but if you're a snooker player and you notice how people hit through the ball, it's just such a lovely strike.
62.
Now, can he get over the line with ease, or is there a tripping point somewhere?
Just coming up to the half-hour mark, and we're more than halfway through the third frame. Now, is he just okay? The way he's walked around the table, I think he can still pot this one into the right corner.
69.
Yeah, okay, he's a bit close to it, but just queuing down so that he doesn't push it. This is,
70.
as Steve said, this is as good a snooker as we've seen so far in this year's UK Championship. Last frame lasted 10 minutes, the opening frame 14 minutes. This has only been going 6.5 minutes.
76.
And snooker's required already. So Mark Williams left the arena after that second frame.
77.
Yes, and the shot that's caused Mark Williams all those problems is that black that he played and screwed back too much.
81.
Wish you'd like to have had that one again.
Well, we're not going to get a century break, but Ricky Walden won't be concerned about that. Mark Williams will be, though. Ricky Walden, with that magnificent break of 81, extends his lead. He's now 3-0 in front. Well, he still looks very relaxed. He always is, Mark Williams. He's one player that after a match he can walk out of the arena. He could have won 6-0, he could have lost 6-0. That's the type of character he is. But he must be getting a little concerned looking at the form his opponent's showing, especially after that second frame, Steve.
Yes, he should be concerned. Although, what can you do? You know, your opponent's potted most of the balls. You've had your chances. You know, the mistakes Mark's made have been minute, really, only at top class level. Would you be upset with yourself? And he sits there now, effectively giving Ricky Walden a 3-frame start in a race to 6. Not ideal.
Thanks. Frame 4, Ricky Walden to break.
So Ricky Walden then gets the 4th frame, the frame before the mid-session interval, and it's a pretty good break-off shot. That's where you're trying to get the cue ball as tight to that ball cushion as possible.
Yes, for the second time when Ricky Walden's broken off, the red has come up the table quite a way. This time he snookered Mark behind the brown on it. Looks to be an easy safety shot here for Ricky. A 4-cushion escape. Played it thinner. 2 cushions and down the table. Problem with that way, you can always collide with one of the baulk colours. It's the risk you have to take. Mark Williams has an easy safety shot on, but it looks like he's choosing the more aggressive option, and that's with difficult cueing as well. That brown's in the way.
Well, he was hampered enough there to cause him a slight problem, but he didn't get anywhere near the pot, and he's been rather fortunate that the blue has come to his rescue to cover that red there. It's near the left middle.
If you can't get your bridge the right distance for the shot required, sometimes that can be the case. It's a strange thing. Best thing that's happened to Mark Williams in the last half an hour has been snookering Ricky on that red. Speculative try from Ricky Walden, and hasn't got the cue ball safe.
Bow. Ricky Walden, 4.
Yeah, he just touched the yellow with the side of the cue, which can happen.
A bizarre situation now has arisen with that red going over the right corner. Obviously, the miss won't be taken. Not a miss, is it? It's just a foul, but there's an argument to be said it should be a miss as well. Everything should be a miss, bizarrely. But now the safety shots are going to be more improvised.
What a poor shot from Mark Williams, who's usually a very good tactical player, but misjudged that one.
Well, I really don't understand that shot. I'm sure Ricky Walden couldn't understand what he was doing either. The red that's tight on the cushion, it was potable, but this red is far easier now. Lost control of the cue ball. Aiming to hit that straight and called it three-quarter ball in the end.
I think he's just okay, you know, to play the safety shot. If he flicks off the black, he can get up past the green there and he won't leave that pot. But I think he's okay. Just he can get through the gap. But he can't play it as a snooker. Yeah, he's got that, and that's about the best he can do. I can't see how he can get over behind the green.
Yeah, anywhere to the right of the green and the red over the corner pocket isn't even an option. I mean, I think it's probably tight on the cushion, but you could pot it with sort of side, sort of a shot to nothing, should you fancy it. But that's the only shot he could play.
Ricky Walden, 1.
Oh, Dennis, you're going off the line a fraction there. I'm a bit upset with you.
He just left it a little bit short. If he had got it tight on the cushion, it would have been much better. Well, there's a possible pot into the left corner, but there's no colour. Black and pink now out of commission, so there'll be a slightly different game. There might be a possible safety shot with a chance of a plant here. The two there behind the pink, or the one to the right of the pink, onto the one to knock it in the corner and get the white up towards the green and brown, which are a good target. You see the two at the right there, just the pink. You've got a perfect picture if he plays that. He's not playing it. He hasn't even looked at that one, Steve.
No, it looked like he could get past those other two reds that he eventually hit. But he's played a very telling safety shot, that's for certain. Mark seems to have found a route back to balk. Possible plant as well.
1.
Now he's got a good chance. If he doesn't fancy the yellow, he can always play a telling safety shot himself in behind the green.
Mark Williams, 1.
Would have liked a bit better than that. He's left Ricky some sort of shot here, hasn't he? Through the gap. Still awkward.
Just looking to see if he can hit the cushion there and just nestle into the reds. Don't know if he can get to the red that's to the left of the pink and reds.
If he can get the cue ball onto the top cushion, that's what he's looking at, he may be able to get out of this. That's his plan. Full in the face.
Is it, can he get past to take this pot on? Because he may get the white back down the table. If he forces this, he'll find a gap here. Nope, he's trying to get it over into the jaws, and that looks to be pretty good. That's a great shot.
Not too sure if Mark can see this red. I think he can, but it's not guaranteed to get on the black.
1.
Yeah, I think Ricky thought he was going to cover that with the red that's tight on the cushion. I thought he had done, but there was a path through for it, so a chance for Mark Williams, and he's got to take advantage here.
Just clip the red.
8.
It's messed his position up straight away. I think he was looking to either hit that red full or collide with some of the pack behind it. This is going to take some working out to get on the black. Perhaps cannon onto the red that's to the right of the table.
Nine.
Pot the black, screw into the rest of the pack, retain position on the red over the right corner. Needs to make this chance count though.
Sixteen. Seventeen. 24. 25. 32. 33. 39. 40.
Well, he would have liked to have been on the blue to then split those three reds up. So now a lot more difficult to win the frame in this visit. And actually now you're looking at one of the ball colours all of a sudden there. Is there any value in potting the blue, is the question Mark Williams is asking himself. Is there a position he can play? Looking at the plant, perhaps? If he doesn't like the blue and just nicking the points, put the pink safe, put the ball safe, but is there a plant on? This is very aggressive, isn't it, Dennis?
I think he might be thinking of the safety shot, maybe that red.
45.
Well, he's back looking at the plant again. It is risky, as you mentioned, Steve. We know what happened in frame 2 when he was on his way to a possible maximum. Missed a red and Ricky cleared up.
Brave and fantastic.
Really was a terrific plant, that. I mean, this 3-0 down, frame before the mid-session interval. Superb.
And also with that plant, he didn't sort of panic. He
53.
controlled it nicely, gave the red every chance to drop into the pocket. Very close to being over the line in this frame. One more
54.
red. And he's got on the blue. Is he the right side? No. So the long red into the left corner. For a left-hander, not so bad.
He's left himself an angle as well, so this red and the blue would be terrific for him.
60.
Well, any colour will do, and he's finished perfectly on the black. So this is a good response from Mark Williams. And just the gentlest of cannons
67.
has pushed one on, but just showing what a great champion he is, because Ricky Walden's done
68.
very little wrong in this frame.
We're looking at the player who's been a finalist in the first 2 ranking tournaments of the season. So you would expect him to put up a fight at the very least.
73.
I don't think he even bothered
Mark
trying to
Williams,
pot
73,
that.
and Prim.
He wants to get to the mid-session interval. It's been a great performance from Ricky Walden. Mark Williams did very well to take that frame, and he'll be pleased slightly, I would think, but he's 3-1 behind as they go to the mid-session interval.
As quiet as possible, please. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Frame 5, Mark Williams to break.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Mark Williams will get this first frame after the mid-session interval underway. And a little bit too hard with the break-off shot. Hazel mentioned about Mark taking a shortcut into the arena. We might be able to show it to you a little bit later. Pretty good length, that. In fact, he's got Mark in a spot of bother here. Might have to give this a little bit of thought.
Maybe forced to play the cue ball to the top cushion here as the only safety option. Now he's just checking where the cue ball may end up.
93% marks up to, but look at Ricky Walden still at 96% pot success rate. That's in this much, but look at the long pot success rate, 100%. 3 out of 3 on the long pots.
Just as effective that side, I think. The red does pot into the left corner. Difficult to see how he can get on a colour, but he's going for it. So perhaps a mistake by Mark Williams. Well, big mistake by Mark Williams. What a great shot from Ricky Walden. Well read as well. Top spin through the white ball for the black, and perfect.
Yeah, it didn't look on, but he, as you say, loads of topspin to take the white through, and 10 out of 10 for that shot.
9.
Now there's 4 reds in the open, but he's got the perfect angle to stun into the edge of the pack. He doesn't want to screw into the middle of that pack of reds. They're a bit awkward. And he's a pretty attacking player, is Ricky. He stunned it, and he's a bit unlucky. Much better to stun it than screw it, but the white's just drifted up the table.
16.
Bit unfortunate there.
Well, it would be a precocious long-range plant, but they are dead set for the pocket.
Well, the plant that Mark Williams played in the frame before the mid-session interval was much tougher than this, and he went on to take that frame. But it's a tricky one that Ricky's looking at. But if there's no easy safety shot, I wonder, will he be tempted?
Well, too sure what the success rate on that plant would be. A bit higher than you would think, probably. But the balls are significantly far enough apart that there is an element of chance in it. This is risky as well, but he's forced to go for it.
Ricky Walden, 16.
The red does go past into the yellow pocket, I think. Shot to nothing in some ways for Mark Williams.
No. Was always going to go on the near jaw. Well, Mark's still there. He maybe thought he had potted that and maybe it just drifted slightly. But we were right behind it and we could tell. I thought there, maybe it did drift just slightly.
And there is the difference between, say, the likes of Judd Trump and Mark Williams. Judd Trump, the modern day players, seem to hit the balls a lot harder. I'm not saying that Judd would have played that too much harder, but the harder you hit the shot, the less likely, if the table does roll off a fraction, the ball keeps on line. Is there any damage done, though? I think he snookered him on that red.
I think this one snicks into the middle pocket. He's come around and had a look at it.
Oh, that's thin.
It's a thin one, but he's got an easy safety shot. But he's looked at that, and a little shake of the head tells you he thinks it's too thin.
Does look to be the safety option is the safety shot to the top cushion, but this is very thin. Well, he made it look easy.
Where's the cue ball going? Where's the cue ball?
Foul. Mark
That
Williams,
is
4.
so unlucky.
Possible big turning point as well.
Not only the in-off, but there's a red up next to the green, which pots.
One.
As you say, Steve, it could be a turning point, and maybe a big turning point as we show you our overhead camera. Very unlucky to come back into that corner pocket.
Three.
I know there's a very keen snooker fan watching today. I was speaking to him this morning. Hasn't been too well lately, but he's nearly back to his fighting best. The great Frank Carson will be watching snooker from his home in Blackpool. One of the greatest comedians this country's ever produced. So glad that you're keeping a bit better,
Nice.
Frank. It's the way he plays them. What a great catchphrase that was from Frank Carson. It's a cracker, and it's the way I tell him. Meanwhile, the Welsh potting machine is trying to get himself right back into this match. 3-0 down.
18.
Similar shot to the one that Ricky played previously when he went into the bunch. He doesn't want to go into the middle of the reds. While there's the one to the middle pocket, I think he's okay.
25.
As long as he didn't stick in
26.
that bunch of reds, he was fine.
Little mention for Lee Tucker as well. Hasn't been in the best of health. Everybody in the London area knows Lee. Going to be getting married to his girlfriend Jackie on the 9th of December. Hope you have a lovely day, Lee.
Top to 2. Top to 3.
As that
Well,
red covered the pocket, it has. He might be able to get to the potting angle of the pink. And he can play for the red that's up past the blue.
yes, I think it's the pink, not the green. Made that look easy.
Strokes those beautifully.
39.
Ken was talking in the studio about Mark Williams, and you were also talking about how he just strokes the ball.
Still the 3 reds around the pink spot area need resolving.
45.
Here's his chance.
46.
I'm not sure if the 2 reds near the
53.
pink are potable. Mark's having a long, hard look at one of them, and that's pretty tight. I don't know if it's the one near the pink he's taking. I don't think he's quite sure. That's why he's taking so long at this. He's been down on that shot an awful long time. And if it's a bit tight, well, it is certainly a bit tight. There's one near the blue that he could take, but he may have to finish up doing that. But he'd rather take the easier pot. Let's see. He's thought long and hard about this. .41 is the difference. He's thought about a minute, which is unusual for Mark Williams.
He'd probably be able to play this shot with a bit of right-hand spin and pot it, but it makes the pot a lot harder.
Well, he's got the alternate shot. I mean, I want to mention the one near the blue, but it's a tough pot. But he could play that in such a way that he wouldn't leave anything, only the red he's taking on. He could even take it on, stun over for the pink. Those two reds won't pot. It may even pass the blue into the middle pocket. Nearly 2 minutes by the time he plays this.
54.
This was always the correct shot if he thought it was too tight, the other one. .47
59.
is the difference, just one more red. And it's amazing, even for a seasoned campaigner like Mark Williams, that ball that takes you past the winning post in a frame seems to be the hardest to pot.
A lifeline he didn't want to give Ricky Walden. Ricky with a problem of not only potting the red but retaining position. Not certain.
1.
And now forced to play the black into the yellow pocket.
He's looking around at the scoreboard. He has to pot this, otherwise he'll need a snooker.
Yeah.
He's having the cue ball cleaned, which is an indication that maybe he's going to pot the black and leave himself in a sort of position where Mark Williams was to try and get on that red that Mark thought wouldn't go.
Well, when Mark played this shot, if he did think it rolled off to the near jaw, that's going to be more of a problem for Ricky Walden. It may have just been that Mark played the shot wrongly.
No. Oh, it's gone in off the green. Can you believe it?
That's a monstrous fluke. It really is. And perhaps even better as well, it's cleared the path for the yellow into the pocket. Wow. That's awful.
That's not awful from Ricky Walden's point of view, that's for sure. Oh, he's mishit that completely.
Ricky Walden, 8.
The red would go. He just hit the other red first. A little smile from Ricky, but what a chance he's let slip there. It definitely would go, but well, it was like a split ball the way he finished up hitting it. He's saying things to Ricky on his way. He's such a wicked sense of humour, Mark Williams.
Well, he got away with it as well. Still in the game. 39 points behind. Two reds, two blues. It's 39 points.
He mustn't be able to hit enough of the red, the left side of the table, to get twice across and get it safe. The pink must be in the way of doing that. Because if he can see that one, that's a much better shot. Send the red back behind the black and the white over past the blue and back over to the baulk cushion.
Yeah, I think he wants to get the cue ball nicely behind the brown, and I think the blue's in the way for that, Dennis. I'm not absolutely sure why he wouldn't play that shot unless that was the case.
Yeah, he would have to swerve it to play that, which he's done, and that's the correct shot.
Or if he's... Well... It's a very nice outcome. Couldn't have asked for that to happen. So, whilst Ricky Walden fluked the black off the green, sort of semi-fluke safety, if there is such a thing.
No, I think he stuck the red up as well here.
Well, Mark Williams, 4.
I don't really think that was on. I had to get very close to the black to get that back red.
Now he can tie at the moment.
It's no longer a miss.
I think the referee's just explaining that to Mark.
The rules have changed recently. Obviously, the rule has changed because Ricky Walden didn't want to leave himself in a situation where he couldn't win the frame. He could obviously get a respot, but it was considered that no player would be trying to miss the balls under that situation. Or certainly less likely. No problem as the red goes in, and 3-2 the scoreline. Mark Williams will be delighted.
4. 5.
There's a Mark Williams special underarm shot with power. I don't know how he can generate the power when he's got the cue underneath his body like that.
14.
Turning into a fascinating match, this.
$17. 21. 26.
Underarm shot again. Amazing. It really is amazing. He's not going to bother about the black. It's just what Mark Williams needed, that early break of 59, and then the 32 has got him to just one frame behind, 3-2. And as Mark leaves the arena, we'll show you how he entered the arena. It's sort of customary now with Mark when he he's introduced. He's a laid-back character. He doesn't want to have to walk all the way around. So what does he do? He just slips over the barrier there. And before play starts, they usually have an introduction and bring players out to act as players. And this is Bonnie Miller from Fixendale. Now that's what you call an entrance into the arena. That's a little bit special. This lovely lady's getting married on the 17th of December. And it's a bit of fun that Rob Walker has with the people, and very nice way to come into the arena. And a little kiss from the fella who was playing. He was Ricky Walden, she was Mark Williams. And she's waving to us as well.
Yeah, we need more couches in the game like that.
But what a good frame from Mark Williams there. It really was a good frame. And he was a bit unlucky with an in-off. We'll just show you the beautiful arena there, the Barbican Centre, and this is what's happened so far in the match. But as I say, the in-off that Ricky made there was very costly. He took a very thin cut into the middle pocket, and if it hadn't have gone in-off, he would have given himself a chance. We'll just show you the shot again. A very, very thin cut. He managed to cut it in, but collided into a colour, and all of a sudden the white appears and comes back up and drops in the corner pocket. Costly.
Yes, he had a chance later on in the frame, and that went awry. And Mark Williams, one of the most dangerous players in the game, I feel, in many ways. It's very hard to shake him confidence-wise. And even though he was 3-0 down in this game, nothing really seems to faze him. So given good chances, he can always get himself back in the fray. And Mark Williams, as I mentioned earlier in the match, first 2 ranking tournaments of the season, he's got to the final of both. A player in form, really, and back to his brilliant best after a time out of the top 16, Dennis.
Yeah, we just seen the beautiful trophy there that is for the winner as Mark comes back in to the arena. It doesn't usually go out after every frame, but it seems to be in this
Frame
match.
6. Ricky Walden to break.
So Ricky gets the 6th frame underway. A little bit pacey with his shot. It's a difficult long red into the left corner that Ricky's looking at, but he's quickly changed his mind. Don't blame him. That's a pretty good shot. Like I said, Ricky had played a pretty good shot. Mark's played a better one.
Mark Williams, 1.
Very difficult on these very fast cloths to get that cue ball nestled up completely behind the brown. So it would look like he's given Ricky an easy escape off a side cushion onto the red on this top right corner. Has he got the pace? It's going to be close. David Bryant at his very best couldn't have done that. Or perhaps he could.
One of the great boulders, indoor boulders. Haven't had too much tactical play in this match. There's been breaks of 68, 85 and 81 from Ricky Walden, 56, 73, 59 from Mark Williams.
Fourth red in from the left looks to be a ball that Ricky could play safe off to get back down the table, but he's not sure where that would push balls to the other corner. He's got a very thin shot off the red to the extreme left on the table. Are there any other options?
Yeah, that's the red that Steve has mentioned. A little thin one off the left side might get him back down the table. He may cannon another one over the pocket, but two, and he might be able to get down off that also, or just leave the white up this end. He's got a few options. How did he find the gap? He took the pot on, but how did he get around the back of that red?
Well, that was superb. Great opportunism there from Ricky Walden. You've got to know exactly how the ball's going to react off. He's got to get near the pocket. Found the gap. Didn't necessarily get away with it, though. And Mark Williams makes the most of a half chance. Has he got an angle on the yellow? Can he get back up the top half of the table? He's going to take some cue power here. Too much. Well, he's got a red.
3.
But it's a very missable one.
Well, what a
Mark
miss.
Williams, 3.
I'm having a quick look. He may have got away with this, and if he has, he's very, very fortunate because he mishit that red. Never got near the pocket. Have another look at this. That won't do his confidence a great deal of good, but he's been very fortunate indeed because he should have stuck Ricky Walden in here.
Big difference between the two players on the backswing. If we see Ricky Walden playing the shot, he pulls the cue back and has a definite pronounced pause at the back before he then goes forward and hits. Mark Williams has no pause. He pulls the cue back and more or less instantaneously goes through again. When Mark played that one off the cushion, perhaps was a bit more rushed than he normally cues, but it was a tough one. A potting chance for Ricky Walden, but absolutely no guarantee of position. If he does pot this red into the corner and play the run through for the blue, every likelihood that he'll cannon that second red along the cushion on the top.
He even had a little glance at the possibility of taking the pot on and bringing the black out. He's quite an attacking player. He's got the angle to pot that and cannon onto the black, but you wouldn't be guaranteed to get good position. But it's a straightforward safety shot, and maybe that might be the best choice, which he's gone back to. He's quite an attacking player, is Ricky, but he was 3-0 up, and he doesn't want to, I was going to say, let Mark Williams in. That cannon on the yellow might have left a chance for Mark.
Yeah, that was a split decision there on whether to go for the pot or play the safety. It's given Mark a chance at the pot, but same problems really. Okay, you pot the ball, but is it too risky an option? He's got one into the corner though, through the gap. That was a better shot. Has he got it behind the yellow? Oh, it looks like, yep. Great shot.
That's an absolute classic shot to nothing. If the red goes in, he's got the green. If he misses the pot, look where he's got the white.
Two cushions onto the red or direct? His choice. It's the one by the black.
Might be able to get up behind the green again. There's one little shot. I don't know if he can see enough of it to play it. He could get off that red and get the white up, if not behind the green, behind the yellow. Just underhit that.
Now this shot Ricky Walden can pot and get back up the table for the blue through the gap.
One.
All things considered, a couple of nice kisses, even though he's the wrong side of the blue.
Yeah, you can't beat a nice kiss, Steve, can you? And he got two of them, as you said. But not easy from this position. Well, he shouldn't have been anywhere near the cushion. What was that? That's one of the worst positional shots that Ricky will have played for quite some time.
I don't think he's on that red. the lower of the two that are around the pink spot. And if that's the case, very frustrating conclusion to this mini break. Well, it's difficult to see whether he can pot that. I don't think he can.
No, he can't get through to the potting angle. And the pink slightly in the way just for the straightforward safety shot off that. He might have to play with a little bit of screw if he's going to try, and that's what he's doing to try and get up towards the green. But he doesn't like that either, so he's taking this other route. Same thing, trying to get a cannon onto the green or somewhere near it. And that's
Walden,
not the best either. Can't leave these out for Mark Williams.
Marvellous shot there from Mark Williams. And got options now. It's not the type of situation where he pots the blue and goes into the reds, so he may even refuse the blue, play the brown.
What about the pink, Steve? Yeah, that's an option as well, and he's got very little to do with the cue ball.
Very nicely played.
7. Eight.
Thought he was playing the brown for a minute. He looked down there. Which is why he did look down there then.
He had 3 choices, brown, blue or pink, and the pink was the better for the position.
Dog of a shot there as well. 2 players who during this match have played some great shots, and a little bit of tension creeping in perhaps. He can cut this back.
Yeah, he'll automatically head up towards the green if he plays that cut in, but
what's he doing here? Another shot to nothing from Mark Williams. A clever shot. Obviously, low percentage on the red.
oh, this looks good. This looks very good. Oh, not quite. Almost swung it all the way around the angles in behind the green. It's who gets the real telling safety shot. It's fascinating to watch this little tussle here to see who's going to play the best safety shot.
And this is a frame that Ricky Walden would desperately like to win, just to try and get a bit more breathing space.
Do you think Mark's got the pace of the table, Steve? He's put the cue ball tight on the ball cushion.
And from a situation where it looked like he wasn't really going to put Ricky in trouble, getting that tight has caused him a small problem. He'd be happy with that. No damage done at all there. Okay, so the cue ball's come out of balk, but an excellent safety shot.
Very good again. And as we watch this very good bout of tactical play, there's a phone call come through this morning about a dear old lady that had been to the Crucible for over 30 years, was always sitting on the front row, Elsie Holsworth, who sadly passed away recently. I think she was in her 90s, but for over 30 years she sat on the front row at Sheffield, and our granddaughter Emily informed us about that. So very sad to hear about your grandma Emily, but she was a lovely lady. Used to send me a big bunch of shamrocks every year. Always was sitting on the front row with glasses on.
That's turned out interesting. This is a tough pot for Mark Williams to take on. You need to be brave to play these ones.
We talk about Mark Williams stroking the ball. This was played similar to Judd Trump, so when he needs it, he can power them into the pocket.
But how clever as well, he manufactured an angle, got the cue ball down into a safe area. Should he have missed it? Just needs to come out enough to be able to pot the red next to the black.
5.
This is a chance.
What you're thinking, he might cannon into the reds when potting this?
6.
No, just hadn't got quite the angle to do that. A little better angle, he could have played the cannon into the reds instead on the black. But there's a few of those reds that are available, so it wasn't imperative that he cannoned into them. There's one red to the right of the black spot that's blocking the path for a couple of reds into the same pocket. Be nice if he could get himself onto that one. Doesn't have to do from this position.
He spotted another red that goes, which is helpful.
13.
And if he's dead straight on this, he can trundle through for the black into the opposite corner. If he's not, there's still some work to be done. Back for the pink.
14.
Struck that nicely, but perhaps he would have liked a bit more on it. So red goes into the opposite corner, so he's okay. Definite chance to go 3-3 here.
$21.
It's been a very high standard in this match. And Mark Williams, when he starts knocking this type of shot in and at pace,
27.
you have to watch out.
28.
So both players queuing really well, and in a few shots time we could be all square, as Steve said, at 3-all. And the pot success rate both still in the 90s.
34.
Well, it looks to be a marvellous recovery from Mark Williams to have got back to level scores. And still enough of the match left.
35.
Bit short of pace there. Not too sure if he can play this with side spin. No real problems.
41.
Just this red, so he doesn't have to worry about position.
$42.
Very good indeed. I think we all thought Mark would be here as the defending champion. The final last year in Telford was unbelievable.
47.
Mark led John Higgins 9-5, and John won 5 frames in a row to pinch the
48.
title from the Welshman. It was a remarkable performance from John Higgins. Well, that's the end of the break, unless he can
54.
pull a spectacular cut along the cushion off. And I thought he had done. But Mark Williams,
54
the Welsh
and
potting
two.
machine, is right back in this. Ricky Walden's not making many mistakes. That break of 54 takes the Welshman all square. It's 3 each.
Frame 7, Mark Williams to break.
Yeah, we started off the best of 11. It's now the best of 5 to see who will go through to the quarter-final. Almost got the snooker, just this one red that Ricky can see. And that's a bad mistake. He hit that far too thin and he's stuck this red up. He wouldn't have left this. Had he have potted the other one, he would have been on the black, but that's the worst possible thing that Ricky could do straight off. And he's just lost 3 frames in a row.
Six. 7.
Dear me, what a kick,
Williams,
what
7.
a heavy contact. Now, he might have got away with that. Oops. Star Wars, forget who it was. What a swipe there with the cue when he got that kick. You could hear that up in the commentary box. Have a look at this. That's a bit like his golf swing.
Martin Gould was on the other table, wondered what on earth had happened there. Amongst the balls, he heard that.
One.
Very good. And he's perfect on the blue, and he'll go straight into the pink full ball, and he'll send the reds all over the place. Now, this is a key shot coming up. He needs to get himself going again. He's had to sit out and watch Mark Williams for the last 3 frames.
Had a quick look to see if there was any plants that were obvious. Well, just when he wanted a good split, he hasn't got one.
6.
And that's what he's left with. A thin pot into the right corner.
Well, you were a master at that shot. He didn't hit the pink full ball, did he, Steve? That's why well, he's unlucky to finish like this, but he didn't catch the pink full ball as he intended.
Well, you're always trusting to luck when you
Ricky
do
Walden,
that, but you
6.
hope if you open the balls up, you should get some sort of leave. You feel aggrieved if you don't. Nearly got Mark Williams in a bit of trouble safety-wise, but he can just get past.
Just gone a little bit awkward now with the pink and black there. Have another look at this. This oh, sure, Luke Skywalker, eh? That was even better than Luke Skywalker. Ricky Walden's not a bad tactical player, but he'll do well to outdo Mark Williams. He's one of the finest in the game. Well, that's a pretty good return. That's excellent from Ricky. He's got the snooker, in fact. There's a 2 cushion escape to clip off the 2 reds that are together. What about that shot? Have a look at that shot. And also helped with a little nudge in the green. There's a pot on here, but when you're almost on the cushion, I don't know if he can pot this red and find the gap between the reds to get back up again, but he's got nothing else to play. He'll have to take this on.
Yeah, this is a massive shot. Well, if he gets away with this, he's had a result.
He's had a result.
Well, I think he's had a result. This red is very, very thin on the top cushion. Very thin indeed. It does pot.
There's no easy path back down behind that green and brown. There's a few obstacles in the way. You may have to try and pot this. Well, you can see how much side there was on it. That was the reason he never got anywhere near the pot. He did try to pot it, but when you put that amount of side on it, on these fast cloths, so difficult to judge.
Yes, he was in an awful lot of trouble there. It had to be struck perfectly, that shot. Not a certainty, this pot for Mark Williams. Nicely in and well controlled. Well, if he could convert this chance, what a turnaround in this match. Totally stolen Ricky Walden's thunder.
Six.
Clever.
Seven.
He wanted to get the black onto its spot as soon as possible. He only had the blue to work with there, and the first opportunity, he's taken it to get the black back on its spot.
No heroics with the under the body shot for this one. I think the lowest red pots past the black once it spots. So just a little stun shot.
$14.
And every chance now of converting this into a frame winner. There you
Mark
go.
Williams, 14.
Now that's a bit like the old Mark Williams. Looks in complete control and then all of a sudden puts a careless one in. That was just concentration. He just jabbed a little bit at this one. Didn't push the cue through in a straight line. Is he going to be punished for it? He hasn't left an easy starter. There's one to the middle pocket.
Excellent shot from Ricky Walden. So can he kickstart the engines again?
He's got to do here because Mark Williams has taken control of this match, but that could all turn back in Ricky's favour here. Couldn't ask for them to be better placed. This is the sort of way you set the reds up when you're having a little practice session. You'd have the pink on its spot. That's
7.
the only thing that's not there, but he doesn't have to worry about that. You might have to play a little cannon here. You don't really want to be, but it hasn't pushed the other red safe.
14.
That's where the advantage of being tall, stretching over those
15.
two reds.
Yeah, that cannon caused him a bit more of a problem than he had before he played it. Wouldn't have wanted to be playing a red into the middle pocket this
22.
early in a break.
$23.
No problem now, though. And looks to have his rhythm back.
30. $31.
Yeah, the last two seasons in the UK Championship, Ricky Walden's lost to John Higgins 9-7, and then Mark Selby last year in the first round, 9-6. He'll be hoping to keep his run going here this year. Just a little bit short of pace.
36.
Have to go back up for the blue.
$37.
He's world ranked 23 at the moment. It looked as if he was going to get himself into the top 16. He's taking these very nicely. It's just starting to get a little bit more difficult now.
42.
What's he, 27 in front, so he won't need that difficult red that's near the pink. So that careless miss from Mark Williams proving pretty costly.
43.
Just seemed to lose his concentration, and he was thinking about the position and forgot the pot.
$50.
Under the circumstances,
51.
this is very good from Ricky Walden. He's been frozen out for the last 3 frames. He got off to a flyer with breaks of 68, 85 and 81. And that's a poor shot. Oh, he's 43 ahead with 43 on the
58.
table. It's such a margin for error there. And how could you leave yourself short there, Ricky? Okay, the red was hampering him a little bit, but he's going to have to wait for another chance now. And he can't play off the red that's next to the pink and get in behind the green and brown because of the angle they're sitting at. Wouldn't be a bad shot to flick off that and knock the pink safe, but he'd leave this other red, the one that he played to get on.
I think if he played extra thin on that red, Dennis, and he may even be able to line the 3 balls up, playing to the jaws of the pocket. Don't worry about getting the snooker.
It's as good a shot as anything, Steve, to play that shot, because he will flick the pink a little bit and might even put it on the cushion. And if he was to leave the white tight on the cushion, not a snooker, it'd be a very difficult position for Mark Williams. So I like your shot.
Yeah, in some ways, not putting the pink on the cushion may help him as well, but obviously from a point of view of Mark Williams clearing the balls up, it would be nice to keep it on the cushion.
Yeah, that's the shot he could play that Steve was talking about, just off that red, leave the white somewhere tight on the cushion, and he'd flick the pink slightly. And you know, that's definitely a good shot.
He may even be able to play, I think, perhaps to the side cushion, even thinner. As long as it doesn't go off.
Walden, 58.
It's given Mark an escape route.
Take this pot on, well, Ricky. Well, he doesn't have to take the pot on, but if he knocks it in, the frame would definitely be over. At the moment, Mark Williams, it's 2 reds, 2 blacks and all the colours to tie. This is the type of shot that Ricky normally practices. That's going to be okay. Now, if Mark Williams can somehow get in behind that green and brown, might not be able to do it off the one next to the pink. It wasn't a bad effort. Oh, Ricky would be pleased to see that green going tight on the cushion. So one good pot now. It's a shot to nothing. don't think he'll cannon the pink if he takes this red on, but if he pots it, it doesn't matter if he does. He's now brought the pink out into play. No, but it was worth the chance there. He's left nothing. Not that easy for Ricky to play a good safety shot here, because he doesn't want to push one of these reds into a potable position. I mean, he could hit the cushion first and flick that first red. That would take the white up the table, but what would it do with the red?
He may be able to. He could play perhaps the very hard stun shot and try and get both reds up the table, away from the black spot area as well, because of course Mark needs blacks with both reds. I think you could risk this, couldn't you? Just belt the life out of this shot and stun the white ball dead on the cushion. Send the two reds up the table somewhere.
I think if the white was just a little bit closer to the cushion, that shot would be on. And if he gets the reds up the other end of the table, needing two blacks, that's a pretty good call there, Steve, because even if one of the reds would certainly go up the other end of the table.
It's whether he can guarantee the second red wouldn't wobble and stay up the top of the table somehow. I think the first red would go down the table. Or of course he could just drop on it. But it's a bit negative. It's not going to do any damage.
Yeah, if he tried to drop on it, he could leave them touching, or he would leave Mark a chance to put him in trouble. So I think your choice, I would go with that. And just, as I say, if he gets the reds up the table, I think that's what he's going to decide to do. Well, he didn't, but I'm just wondering if Mark will attempt this along the cushion.
One.
He made that look easy. Didn't think it was. No, he's left himself no chance at the double, but he's still in the game.
8. Mark Williams, 8.
Not the best from Mark. I think he wasn't playing the snooker behind the blue, but he was trying to get over behind the black.
Outside chance of a snooker behind the brown off of two cushions, but it's risky. Not too sure where the red would be going. Didn't play it hard for that reason. I don't think he'd have got behind the brown anyway. Big shot for Mark Williams to take on to try and pot this and retain position on the black. Is that his choice, or does he play safety?
Well, he seems to be looking at the potting angle the way he was eyeing this up. Doesn't have to. He could try the snooker, and he has tried the snooker and he's played it. Well, I was going to say pretty good, but the fact that the red is near the cushion, he can come off the side cushion and onto that red to escape. If the red had a bounce just another fraction, it would have been much easier for Ricky Walden. But a bit of pace with this. I mean, I don't think there's any point in trying to just land on this, because he could stick it up. Yeah, that's pretty good. How's the pace on this? Might be a snooker, but he can see enough of the side cushion to hit the red. You never really know where they're going. He'll settle for that. He's knocked the brown awkward and hasn't stuck the red up.
More likelihood now that Mark Williams will be playing for snookers rather than trying to pot the last red and black, or risk potting the last red and black, with that brown going safe. Be difficult to clear the colours in one visit from this position. Would have been easier before the brown had gone safe.
Well, I'd be tempted to try and double this up into the right corner pocket, because he's got a great chance of getting a snooker, and if he doesn't knock the red into this right corner pocket, it would be safe. Which way is he going? He's trying to keep distance between the balls, but Mark might have a go at this. I mean, under those circumstances, you've got to keep the object ball safe as well.
Well, Mark Williams will only pot this red if he feels he can guarantee position on the black ball. If that situation does arise, he will pot the red.
How's the cue ball?
One.
Well, he didn't play it in this side of the table, didn't play it in this pocket, but he's on it. Amazing shot to get round that side.
Yeah, he just held his hand up, but he'll take this. Oh, he's missed it. Oh, that looked as if it was going to wobble. Are we going to have a respotted black? That didn't look as if it was in there, but any more pace it wouldn't have dropped.
Ten.
And a chance. Well, he is left-handed, so he can drop in behind the brown, or he's got an angle to even move it.
It's a very missable green, I know that.
Thirteen.
He made that look easy as well. Loads of left-hand side on this one.
Yeah, you really put everything into the position, and that flick on the brown may have cost him the frame. It looked as if he might have got away with that until that brown kissed into the cue ball. But that was a bit of a chance to have a respotted black there.
Four.
Good cueing there. So it'll be a pretty relieved Ricky Walden. The last thing he wanted was a respotted black after he looked as if he was going to take the frame quite comfortably.
Nine.
He won't bother about snookering himself, Mark Williams. Well, I was going to say he'll stay in his seat. He'll probably leave the arena. He's coming forward to say that's enough, Ricky. So Ricky Walden, with that break of 58, gets his nose in front again. He's back in the lead, 4-3.
Quiet as possible, please. Frame 8, Ricky Walden to break.
Well, we're playing each other in the shootout, and obviously, so it's getting strained out there. He thinks he's got a chance of beating me in a one-frame shootout match. It's ridiculous. I'd advise you not to look at his tweets at the moment, though. Won't even tell you what he is.
How the game of snooker has changed. Can you imagine the great Joe Davis, 20 times world champion, tweeting in between frames? There was no tweeting back in the 40s and 50s. But Mark's, he wants to concentrate on this match, never mind tweeting in between frames, because he might have nothing to tweet about if he loses this.
Joe Davis would probably send a carrier pigeon with. Early chance for Mark Williams. The path for the cue ball is a bit difficult. There's a few reds in the way. Round the back of the black's okay, but then after that becomes a problem.
Has he got away with that? He's been very, very fortunate indeed. He could quite easily have stuck Ricky Walden right in the balls. The only possibility is knocking one red onto the other and getting himself onto the black, but that is a dangerous plant. I mean, he was very lucky.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of repetitive strain injury.
Have a look at this. Once he kissed that red, I thought he was going to stick Ricky right in amongst them.
Well, he did. But it's nice. I tell you, when you play a shot like that and you've completely messed it up and get away with it, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, the blue has covered that red that's near the right corner pocket, I think. Yep. Which means Mark has got very little to play, only just roll up to the... That's nowhere near. That's not going to get anywhere near the red.
Well, and this, Ricky Walden 4.
In fact, it's so short that Ricky Walden might take the pot on and leave himself on the blue. He might not necessarily screw back to leave the correct angle on the blue. He could play this shot in such a way that he wouldn't leave the red on for the right corner pocket, but he would still be on the blue. Let's see how he plays this. Yeah, he hedged his bets there. It was a free shot the way he played it, because he was still on the blue. Okay, it had to have gone in and out of balk, but I think he should have put a little bit more into that attempt there. That was a good chance.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was lined up for the pot right. Sometimes they're hard to judge with the rest. Possible re-rack situation. Bit early to call in some ways, but years back it was the referee's decision. Now it becomes the players. And immediately they say re-rack, and that's the end of that frame. Or the start of that frame.
Yeah, I don't blame them for doing that. It was a stalemate, and it was an early re-rack, but they knew they were going nowhere, so not enough time for Mark to tweet this time. While they're setting the balls up to start this frame again.
He was a little unhappy with the red he missed into the black pocket. But apart from that, Judd Trump, very, very good at letting all his fans know what's happening in the matches.
Frame 8, Ricky Walden to break.
That's a poor shot from Ricky. He knew straight away, turned away, and a little bit of disgust at that. Now then, that was a half chance for Mark Williams, and he didn't get near the pot. So Ricky Walden's poor safety shot, believe it or not, has given him a chance because of that miss by Mark. He's usually pretty good at that, but he didn't even get it into the jaws this time.
1.
And all of a sudden, it's a good chance, because in a few shots' time, Ricky will be able to get on that red to the left of the black and get the black into play. It's a little bit awkward at the moment. Could play for the black this time, depending on the angle. Let's see, is he straight on this? No, I think he can play back for it.
7.
Yes, he really needed to play for the black there to then get easy position on this red that's closest to it. It's not going to be the perfect angle. He may have to go back up the table if he's not high enough.
14.
Obviously the blue is the best ball to go into the pack from, should he wish to open them up. So getting the correct side of the blue is important.
I think he's got an angle just to stun off that red, and somewhere near the line would leave him nicely on the blue. He's just looking to see if the pink will go, but
still like the blue really. And
15.
well, he's going to get to the end of the line. He could do it directly, but he's right on the end of it there.
well, that was still a great line, Dennis.
This is the key shot coming up. Bit unlucky again. That time he hit the pink fuller.
But he didn't screw it in, and this he lost the white.
He stunned it in rather than screwed it in, yeah.
It gets a bit technical to explain that, doesn't it?
Well, the stun will make the white run on through, as you say, Steve, and the screw shot would have kept the white near the pink spot area.
What happens is
Walden, 20.
after potting the blue, if you put backspin on the cue ball, the white ball is effectively still spinning in that direction, so then when it does hit the pink, it's still got that backspin on it. That's what the players are looking to do. Every shot you see on the table is some sort of spin has been applied, and even if the ball is just rolling up the table, it is spinning, and the players have to understand what happens when the balls collide, what happens after you've potted the ball, what direction the white ball's spinning in. Now don't start with the interesting bit.
No, I got you, Steve. I followed
thanks.
every single
Thank you very
word
much.
of that.
It was good stuff. It just...
Trick shot from the Welsh potting machine there. He'd rather not have potted the one in the left corner. Needs a little bit of angle on this red to get to the black again. And he hadn't got that angle, that's why he had to go through for the blue. A better angle on it, he could have just stunned it in and left the black, but it was a bit straight.
12. Ricky Walden, 4.
Oh, that's a bit careless. He was trying to play a delicate little screw shot to get in behind the yellow and didn't push through the cue ball as he intended and just went straight in off. Didn't get the intended spin that he was looking for there. And this is the type of shot, I keep saying, Ricky Walden practices this shot.
1.
And they do say practice makes perfect. He's got a championship table in Chester, a star table that he practices on. He kindly lets me use his table just before the Legends
8.
games, the tour that we did. So it's a lovely table to practice on, very tight pockets.
Nine.
Just needs the gentlest of cannons this time onto the red to the left of the bunch. He's got the one at the back that he could stay on. So just a gentle little nudge here.
$16. $17.
Just losing the cue ball at the moment in this very important frame. If Ricky was to go 5-3 up, it'd be tall order for Mark Williams.
$24. $25.
He does seem to play that shot particularly well into the middle pockets. James Watana from Thailand, he was excellent at middle pocket potting, as indeed are a lot of the Chinese players. 45 ahead.
30.
No problem getting on the black off this loose red, but I think he may have to then get a little cannon just to clinch this frame.
31.
He's got the angle on the black to get that cannon, so this is the key to winning this very important frame. Well, he's thinking long and hard about this. He knows the importance of this shot. Is there a plant? Or is the red in the middle? Can he get through the gap? No, I think it's the plant he's looking at here.
38.
He had the perfect angle to cannon that, but that looks to be going to the right of the pocket, so he'll have to make this. I think you would have been playing the cannon into the reds there rather than this. If he doesn't catch this right, he can squeeze it away from the pocket, Steve.
Well, I think he fancies he can make it.
39.
Made it look very easy, didn't he?
He's just squeezed it slightly, didn't he? And made the angle. Just have another look at it. See how the red straightened up for the pocket. Good shot there.
Well, he's given himself some breathing space in this match.
41.
He's going to have 3 cracks at getting over the line.
42.
And I'm sure he thinks as long as he gets some decent chances, he might convert one. So worrying times for Mark Williams and his legion of Twitter fans.
Very good this from
47.
Ricky Walden. 3-0 up. He lost 3 in a row and he's come back
48.
with this. Very good indeed.
$52.
But he's doing it in style. 58 break in the previous frame. Another half century
53.
already here. Oh, he's going to play it left-handed, so they're all at it these days, switching hands. Not quite as good as some of them, but he won't bother
Walden,
about that.
53 and frame.
Very good from Ricky Walden. A break of 58 in the previous frame, a 53 in this frame, and now he's put himself where he just needs one more frame for a place in the quarter-final. Now, Steve was talking about spin and what happens to the ball, and what we have here, we've got a white ball with red spots on. Just, it's amazing what happens. Have a look at that white ball there spinning. Now that's with side on it. He's just putting a touch of left-hand side on it there, and that causes the ball to spin. But this one, you have a look at this here. He's putting quite a bit of side, and watch what happens. That white ball with the red dots on, it keeps on spinning and keeps on spinning. That's so clever, that, to show you exactly what happens to the cue ball. Well, I thought it was stopped and it's still going. Well, that white's got more spin than you have, Steve.
Yes, so every time you play a shot with side spin, you're trying to probably change the angle of the cue ball off a cushion.
Thank you.
But
Frame
backspin
9.
and topspin
Mark
are
Williams
usually
to break.
employed to try and make the ball go either forward or backwards, obviously for the positional side without using a cushion. Different spins for different jobs.
Meanwhile, that's a better break-off shot from Mark Williams, and he can't afford to make many more mistakes or he could be out of this year's UK Championship. And apparently that cue ball is still spinning yet. It might never stop.
Quite a way out there, but no damage done. Chance of a snooker behind the green here for Ricky Walden, should he so wish to try it. Could have played it harder and tried to get behind that green, but felt that perhaps the angle wasn't perfectly on, so tried to get to the bulk cushion.
Oh, this looks good. This looks very good. And that's what he needs to do, Mark Williams. Just having a little glance over at the other table there when he walked back to his seat. But he's got to be pretty precise with this, just to nestle on the two reds that are near the pink. That's near the pink, is it? No, he's played it beautifully. Look at this. Oh, well judged. Touching would help Mark Williams here. Leo Scullion, our referee. Yeah, he spotted the It's touching one of the reds, so that means it's easy to get back down. Put him in a difficult spot. And the similar type shot is still quite difficult to judge. In fact, he's going the other side of the table this time.
Bit short of pace. This one, just a bit short of pace, apart from the fact he hit it, which means it's not short of pace, is it? That's the rules are, if it hits, it's not short of pace.
Not quite this time. Chance for Ricky to return the compliment.
Well, got away with that. Or has he? No, perhaps not. Well, it looked easier on our screen than it actually was, but Mark will still be very disappointed to have missed that.
He should have knocked this one in, really. And I'll tell you what, he's been rather fortunate that it's come off the jaws and finished tight on the white. We've played each other 3 times, and Mark's leading 2-1. Played in the UK Championship 2007, 9-3 to Mark Williams there.
Mark looks like he's got Ricky in a bit of trouble here. Ricky may have to play sort of the Massey shot. It was a peak shot, I think it was called in the world of billiards. Jack the cue up right in the air, 90 degrees to the table, effectively putting a lot of backspin on. Avoid the push shot, bring the cue ball back into book.
Well, you were one of the best in the game at playing this particular type of shot, and you need to be fairly tall to get that cue right up in the air. But as I say, Mark Williams was very fortunate for that red to have come back and finished like this.
This is the other option, touch it. Just touch it gently.
It may be touching. No.
Seen some strange re-rack positions before, but this would be the weirdest of all.
If there's a re-rack here, Steve, I'll take you out for a nice meal tonight.
Oh, he'd be delighted with that.
I don't know about that.
He'd be absolutely delighted. He'll just go back to his chair and just die.
Well, he tried that very difficult shot that you mentioned, Steve, and didn't pull it off.
1.
And that's a bit too pacey, because he wanted to finish on the blue, drop the blue in, leave the red that's closest to the black. He might still be able to get back round to that position. But he's got a long way to travel to get it there, but he's got a pretty decent angle on the yellow to do that. He's going to play the green to try and get up to the reds. Now has the cannon. Oh dear me, that's unlucky. I don't know if there's one go to the middle, the right middle. But I'll tell you what, he played this so well. And unlucky to hit the red and find that gap.
Yes. He's got the chance of the red into the right middle. Perhaps round the back of the black with the cue ball, but not the easiest shots in the world. Perhaps he could even cut this into the top corner. All sorts of shots he could play. Great shot.
5.
Well, This is a judgment shot, isn't it, Dennis? It could be a frame winner. Could be a match winner if this goes right. No, it's early in the frame. He's taking it on. Could be a frame loser, of course, as well.
Okay, Walden, 5. One.
Finish up taking the black here because it clears that pocket. I don't think he played to get on the black that time, but when he cannoned the yellow, it's ideal now. Now how's Mark's luck? He's got one to the middle anyway if he's not on one to the corner.
8.
Yes, he couldn't have hit those reds better from the black. The perfect cannon. Okay, a bit awkward cueing.
9.
And the red's just open enough that he should be able to keep position on them. It's only a couple out at the moment that are obvious to be played on. That was very well played. If he played to screw back that side of the blue,
12.
wasn't much room for error there.
13.
A little nudge of the pink to try and develop it. And now in and out of baulk to play on that red by the right of the black.
Well, he's on that red, but not as he
18.
would have liked. He sort of indicated with his reaction there that he got a bit of a bounce off that baulk cushion. Yeah, throws his hand up in the air. Maybe it was the kick. The only thing is with this, he's going to have to cannon another red here when potting this one. Well, he avoided it.
19.
Delicate little screw shot. It looked like he would have to cannon one of the reds there. Straight on the blue, but Ricky Walden, well, he had a good chance
24.
there, but just got a bit too close to the black that he eventually missed.
25.
Green, and he'll leave a red in the corner.
28. 29.
And there's one certain thing about Mark Williams. We know he never gives up, and he'll try right to the end. And this is a big frame for him.
$36. 37.
Very well played shot there. Made that look a lot easier than it was. Perhaps go into the reds off this. Be unlucky to not be on one. Nope, he's not. Playing for the loose red. Not too sure
44.
whether he likes that one. I think he should have gone into the reds now. I'm not going to start criticising him because I think if he'd have potted the red and split into them, he'd have been on a red easier than this.
No problem. Beautifully
45.
played shot, but he's come up a little bit short. It's almost like the shot that Ricky missed, but he's not as close to the black, and he can use that red as a stopper, the cannon here. Has he overdone it as well? He has. He's done exactly what Ricky Walden
Mark
did.
Williams, 45.
Just because they weren't perfectly on the black, and if you touch the near jaw, have a look at this. Looked as if it was in there. All of a sudden it touches the near jaw and they won't drop.
So here's Ricky Walden's first chance to win the match. One red on the side cushion, always going to be a problem.
Well, that red and the possible plant is on. That's what Ricky's thinking about at the moment. He's got the, he doesn't want to play it this time. He's got the easy red to the middle pocket, but he's just wondering, should I play for the blue or do I have to play for the black if they're a bit tight into that pocket? Well, he's bridging over. I wouldn't be playing that shot. Bridging over the pink. I'd rather have the one in the middle pocket. And if he thinks those are a little bit tight, he can play for the black.
One.
And the black it is. And it's difficult to judge the cue ball when you're so close. Wouldn't be a bad idea just to hit the cushion just before the black, and it would take him over towards that triangle of reds there. It's just a delicate little shot, but I think it would be the one to play if he just hits before the pocket.
Yeah, he's not a certainty, is he, Dennis, here?
Yeah, he's got to be very careful with this. There's the cushion first. If he hit it a little bit harder, he'll be okay.
8.
I think he's got to be happy with that.
Yeah, he can get on the blue nicely or the pink, and then the two reds will be available.
9.
Needs the correct angle, and he couldn't have played it better. So it's all going to be about that red that's near the left side cushion as to whether Ricky can win frame and match with this chance.
This would be an easier clearance for Mark Williams, being left-handed. So the question is, does Ricky Walden try and get the red out, or does he play it down the rail? And I would suggest that it's far enough down the table, away from the middle pockets, that he may be forced to play it down the rail.
15.
Depends on how he comes on the colours. Chance now to screw behind it. One red early. Chose to leave it to last.
Well, the only problem with that red, if he leaves it down the cushion, he missed one earlier in the match with the rest. And it all depends how comfortable you are with the rest, being a right-hander. If he doesn't play to move that red, and that's what he's now thinking about. Should I eventually leave myself in behind it, or should I try and move it?
I think it's red to pink and then pink to red. It's the pretty simple way of getting on it.
Is he trying to move it from this shot? I'm not sure.
23.
Well, he did try to move it.
Oh, okay.
So he obviously doesn't fancy leaving it up the cushion, and he still might have an angle, you know, on the black to bring it out. But he's back again looking to see if he leaves it in behind it, but he definitely wanted to move it there.
Could have a big argument, discussion over whether that was a right shot or not back in the studio. Not trying to be the director.
Well, he's back there again, and he's going to have to use the rest. He's got very little to do with this because of the position of the pink. If he just leaves the white a few inches further up the table here, he'll have an angle to roll the pink in and get on the yellow. And he's, what, just 10 points behind. This could send Mark Williams out of this year's UK Championship if the next shot works out.
Under normal circumstances, you'd be screwing back for the blue. But with that pink there, it's a nice ball to be on. Chose the blue.
41. Thank you.
And that's a perfect position for the yellow.
Nothing wrong with that choice. It was a much more difficult putt, forcing it in. You know, he missed one earlier, but he certainly didn't miss that. It was much easier to get on the yellow from the blue, but he's on the cushion. But what a performance this is from Ricky Walden. This will be one of his best wins for quite some time. He defeated Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of the China Open a couple of seasons ago.
Up to 8.
Under the circumstances, he got off to a flyer, 3-0 in front, but then he's seen Mark Williams win 3 in a row, and it looks as if he's going to win 3 in a row to clinch the match, but we know what can happen under these circumstances.
.41.
2 hours 21 minutes, just coming up to 2 hours 22 minutes of very exciting snooker.
.45. Yeah.
With the pink being off its spot, it's just a little bit more difficult. Having the cue ball clean because of the way he's going to play the next shot. Doesn't want a heavy contact. Just drop the blue in off this cushion behind the black, and hoping to drop nicely on the pink.
.50.
And that needs to pull up a little bit. It's not absolutely dead straight, but
He'd be playing it in the middle. So Mark Williams play a shot similar to this earlier in the frame. He'd expect to get it. He can play safe with a cue ball as well. Match shot.
it's there. What a great victory for Ricky Walden, and he raised his fist. He lost 3. He won 3. And he's won the most important frame. The deciding frame there takes him into the quarter-final. In the end, it looks quite comfortable. 6-3 to the likeable man from Chester.